Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah.
Beer mug from the world famous K-Rock.
Awesome.
Pleasure to meet you,
I love
man.
K-Rock.
Hell yeah, man.
Got hometown. My hometown. I went to Occidental. I lived on K-Rock.
Nice, man.
That's when there was only radio.
Only radio. Now there's
Yeah.
everything. Social media.
Right.
Everything. All right, Tanner, I'll slate you. Rolling off this. All right. All right, K-Rock audience, Kevin and Bean Show. Beer mug here at Super Bowl 53 Radio Row. My first guest of today, and actually the whole trip, you might know him as the former CEO of the legendary Leigh Steinberg Sports and Entertainment Company. David, first of all, I want to introduce you to the Kevin and Bean audience, and thank you for bringing C.J. Anderson to the Rams.
I wish I could take full accountability, but Kroenke did a really nice job. But, you know, I've been working with CJ as an entrepreneur, as a business coach, and as he was looking to move into more entrepreneurial things as his season ended, he was released from the Raiders. I flew to my house and had a dinner with him and shifted his energy and his perspective and said, hey, there's some opportunities out here. And luckily, the Rams, Chargers, and the KC wanted him, but there's a perfect match, and it's the Rams. And I think he's been a great catalyst for the team, and I'm so proud of him. I always say, don't let the belly fool you. That guy is ridiculously talented.
They call him the bowling ball, and I mean, just tremendous compliment to Todd Gurley as a backup running back. Now, when he came into your house, was he feeling down? Was he down and out? He said, David, it's time for me to just call it quits, retire?
One of the things that we talk about and I teach is controlling perspective. So he was trying to process what has happened, right? And obviously it didn't feel good, but every setback is a setup. And I always tell him, you know, opportunities push you towards something better. Like if you have faith in what you want, meaning that everyone and everything that's happens to me is for the better, I started giving him ideas instead of he thought the better was moving on and making money and being an entrepreneur till next season. My idea was, no, let's win a Super Bowl. There's 3 teams out there that could win a Super Bowl, and there's one, especially the Rams, that I think have, with your compliment, a great chance. And he took that real positive perspective and he shifted the paradigm, that I call it, and he started really opening up the possibilities, and that's when probabilities occur. If he would have stayed closed off and only, and this is my belief, take it for what it is, I believe that if he would have put faith in, you know what, I'm going to make some money, I'm going to learn business with you, Dave, and I'm done for this season, we'll kill it next season, I think there wouldn't have been any calls. I really do. And so, you know, he's learned a great lessons about the mental power of possibility.
You worked with hundreds of athletes, hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds. How many of them have read Be Unstoppable, How to Create the Life You Love, by none other than yours truly, David Meltzer? How many guys pick up that book and are inspired by it?
So, you know, all of them. I'm one of the few guys. Connected to Goodness was the first one, so that's a little older. This one was written, it's a workbook by Jack Canfield from Chicken Soup for the Soul and I, who's, you know, from Southern California as well. But every single one of my clients, just like when we were at Leigh's, has to understand they're giving forward or paying it forward to a cause or a purpose. So all of my clients, and I do this for anyone, not just athletes, I will mail you, I'll send you these books for free. I'm at David Meltzer. I will ship them, pay for shipping, because I know if you read those, your life is going to get so much better that I've created a void for the universe to fill for me. I'm not trading, but I know by creating value and changing people's perspective, the more people that are happy, the universe will be much better off.
And for the Kevin and Bean audience listening to you talk right now and are not quite convinced yet, let me remind you how many awards you won. You've won Sports Humanitarian of the Year. You're involved with tons of projects, not only the Super Bowl, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the Masters. I mean, how overwhelming is it to meet all these athletes and try to get the ones that are kind of like down in the dumps and try to lift them up again? I mean, do you ever look at yourself and be like, I don't think I'm cut out for this?
You know, it's interesting. I'm surrounded by world thought leaders as well. I mean, Jack Canfield's no joke, and Beckwith, and all these guys that I know, Blaine Bartlett. But for me, it's more, what can I learn from them? I take a different perspective. There's real two questions always in my mind. How can I be of service? Like, even when I met you, I'm thinking, oh, we're both in Southern California. How can I help you guys? I know so many people, get you all these great guests, or whatever I can do to be of service. And then the second question took a lot longer to figure out, which was, do you know anyone that could help me? Right? A lot of people aren't in receivership. They have a harder time receiving than giving. And so I joke about all these awards that are listed out because I have these unbelievable siblings. I joke around that if my mom listened to this, she would be saying, well, my other son's a doctor, right? There has to be radical humility involved as well. So if you have those two questions with humility of being of service, asking for help, that's the definition of radical humility. You're not bothered by Joe Montana, Steve Young, Troy Aikman, Warren Moon. You're learning from them, and you're more excited than just admiring them. But imagine if you could take that spirit of excellence that they had, learn from it, incorporate it in your own life, whatever you are, and be the superstar that they are in your own field or in your relationships.
Total selflessness is what it sounds like to me. I feel, just sitting right next to you, David, I just feel very, very insignificant. You really, I mean, day to day, it feels like I'm doing selfish things now that I'm sitting here talking to you. Let me ask you, you are a Chargers fan, right?
Yes, I am.
What are your thoughts on them coming to Los Angeles a year after the Rams?
You know what's funny is I thought it was a bad economic decision for Kroenke and Spanos is a great economic decision. I live in Orange County. I have a home in San Diego still. I was born and bred on the 70s Chargers. But I'm fine with it because I know that sports is a business. And if I owned the team, there's at least $1 billion delta that was occurred by moving them up there. Now, I also know that all my relatives, friends, and everyone in San Diego despise the Chargers, and there needs to be some real re-engineering of the marketing and branding for that team. Even though they're winning, it was a great test to see how many people would transfer over, and there wasn't many.
Were you were you in agreement with maybe they could have stayed where they were in Mission Valley, either torn down Qualcomm or renovated it, played at San Diego State University? Because if that was my idea, if I was the owner.
Let me take you back a little bit farther, because I'm a marketing guy, right? I'm a branding guy. And I had conversations with the Spanoses about this over the years. You need to make an investment in yourself. For 20 years, there was no team from San Francisco down. There was no advertising and there was really good, not only players, but really good teams. In those 20 years, really good teams. And yet, if I was there, and I do this for my own brand personally now, I make the investment in myself. Every person I get that is aligned with my frequency is cheaper than there will be 10 years from now. Imagine in those 20 years, if they increased 2-3 times their marketing budgets, put out on the 10 to Palm Springs advertisements, up into Orange County, LA, and built a following. What do you think would have happened, regardless of whether they built the stadium in Mission Valley, downtown, Carlsbad, Escondido, I think was another location. Imagine what they would have done. They would be the most popular team in the country. They could be known as America's team, and that's the chance because you had plenty of dollars, but yet. Instead, you take a scarce attitude, you put faith in what you don't have, the shortages, voids, and obstacles, and what the Chargers get? More shortages, voids, and obstacles instead of abundance. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes wasn't Ryan Leaf of the Chargers. The biggest mistake of the Chargers was not spending the money to build their brand, because people would, everyone would have benefited, but that team would be loved today.
David, pleasure meeting you, man.
Anything, let me know.
Thank you, man.
Of course.
Pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, really nice to see you.
Right,
that's cool.
How many guys come to you and like didn't even think about like the next step, or think that they had a brand or something, an idea that people would care about?
So it's really interesting. So many do. I was talking about Steve Weatherford, the punter from the Giants, super brand, right, in the fitness world, super businessman. There's so many guys out there that it's not only just one-on-one business coaching, because that gets a little more expensive, but I put out the content on the internet, probably 3 pieces of content a day, so that young entrepreneurs, young athletes from, literally 10 years old, I think, follow me on Instagram, all the way up to 70-year-old men on LinkedIn. All that, it's just those little pieces of advice, like be kind to your future self. People buy an emotion for logical reasons, keeping them positive and focused on a trajectory towards profitability, passion, and purpose. There's all these little pieces of advice, and I'm also an accountability partner. As you know, everybody needs an accountability partner. And so since I have a formula that we're in touch, that I'm on top of you, so in essence, if you had someone following you, you would never drink and drive.
Yeah.
Right? I'm always with you. That cell phone number, 4 a.m. to 11 p.m., I'm always with you. So you can give me a call and say, hey, I just met this guy. He's asking me for money to do this, Dave. What do you think about that? Right? No.
David, it struck me that if we could get somebody to give us the scope of what Super Bowl week is outside of just the game, then you're the man who's lived it, who's shaped it, and who's right at the center of it. Give us a feel for what goes on here other than the game itself.
What goes around here next to the Masters is the most business corporate America, now corporate the world, can do. And it's because people buy on emotion for logical reasons. So instead of focusing in on the game, when I was with Leigh Steinberg and then Warren and I, we've always focused in on the business of the Super Bowl, and not meaning selling, advertising, and marketing. It's about the relationship capital, understanding hosting people, having parties. I was CEO of Leigh Steinberg Sports Entertainment, and the oldest and biggest party was thrown by Leigh. And it wasn't at night where it was dark and music and bottle service. It was in the day from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Saturday, sport coats and business. And I realized with Leigh that we could make millions of dollars by building relationships and utilizing the athlete not to do business with, where everyone else is trying to sell the athlete their insurance and their financial planning, their cars. We were using the athlete to attract the CEOs, the COOs, the CFOs of the Fortune 1000 companies, so we could do business with them to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun.
It's something that when they're thumb stoppers, let me hear some motivational something. Let me hear, just get good something. You get good value.
Good.
Like it's done properly. Every time I go through, I was like, oh yeah. Sometimes you follow people and
you get bored.
But no, it's amazing stuff, man.
Thanks. It's working.
You've mastered getting the those 1 minute hitters that can make you go, oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
So, well, you're one of the first guys, man.
Yeah.
You got me going.
No, it's good. And I see you've integrated and gotten into a lot of. it's good. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and you're killing it.
Yeah,
we have to get back together though.
That is amazing.
That's
what's more important than the run. You got to do that. Hi, baby.
I'm going to do a quick interview. I love you.
Okay, I'll see you around.
Okay.
Hey, David.
Hello. Mucho gusto.
How are you? David.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi.
How's it going?
Good to see you. So one of the things I teach is about trajectory. And what people don't realize is that when we let our ego get in our way, ego is the loss, the fear of loss. So need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be hurt, fearful. When that trajectory changes, what happens is you continually go the wrong way. So my job as a coach is to say, let's get into the enjoyment of the direct pursuit of my potential. Right? And so when the light went on, it was not about the potential of making money and being an entrepreneur, which is one of my specialties, but it was really about the potential of being an athlete and the potential of being a running back and not letting the shortages and voids that have happened. Also, he really got unlucky. The Panthers had McCaffrey. Then he goes to the Raiders and they needed 2 offensive linemen. It had nothing to do with his skill set. And I said to him, look, this is an opportunity now to show how great you really are. I do a lot of business coaching with executives too. We can't let the outside voices, right, determine our success. The happiness that we have comes within. Why are you going to give that control to somebody else? Especially with social media. This is like what I like to teach, even for ESPN, to sport this. There's 4 billion people out there that could listen to us today. Who cares if 3.9 billion of them hate us? because that means 100 million love us. And we both know 100 million people loving us is good enough.
Going back to the point you said about asking for help, sometimes the athletes, maybe it's an ego thing, maybe it's just being athletically gifted. They've never leaned on help, and when they move into this post-Clayton career, you work with these guys, are they just as competitive on the field as they are in the next phase of their life or business?
That's what makes them so great to work with, is I don't have to teach the intangibles because they're consistent, they're disciplined, they're persistent, and what I have to teach them is the easy part, which is, hey, here's situational knowledge of what this means, here's what you do. One of the things I learned, Warren Moon is my business partner day-to-day in the marketing company. Warren, my favorite thing about him is if he doesn't understand things, he says, hey, my mom always told me, ask if I don't understand. Can you explain that to me, Dave? And he's not, this is a great Hall of Fame quarterback, not afraid to say, what does that mean, simple interest? Can you show me how to figure that out? I didn't really learn that.
Isn't that one of the best?
Let's say you have 1,000 followers to 10,000, 1 million followers is a lot of followers.
Yeah.
And that'll last a lifetime.
Yeah. Do you think that at some point, though, there will be another outlet or another platform that's not Instagram? And how do you make that following transfer over?
Because the content, right? You just start posting because if your content is evergreen and perpetual, if it has a frequency so most of the stuff I talk about isn't, it's timely, like Napoleon Hill, right?
Yeah,
Think and Grow Rich. It's ideas and lessons and stories that are relevant. It doesn't matter that there's a new format 10 years from now. It's just like I could post Course of Miracles, or Jesus is still the greatest influencer on the internet, and his ideas are really old, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they'll put him on whatever's new, and that's why Joel Osteen has such a great following, because he knows how to articulate the Bible.
Yeah.
So I would focus in on the ideas and the content, and then for the platforms that you're on, who cares? I'll just keep posting.
Yeah.
I haven't even started on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not big on Facebook either.
But I think what's going to harm me to start, if it's resonating on Instagram, Twitter, and just on YouTube, for example, that took a long time. My YouTube following, right? I just kept posting videos, and you have to figure out, is it longer or shorter depending on what format it is?
Yeah.
But as long as you have the content, you can repurpose it. I call it the stage theory.
I love that.
So if you ever have questions, I've gotten great advice from Gary, so that helps as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about what's next. I'm worried about giving good ideas because they last forever. My example is Disney, right? That mouse, black and white mouse in 1940s, it has 470 million followers on Mickey Mouse Club on YouTube.
Wow.
Right? Do you think Disney even thought of YouTube?
No.
No, it's just a good idea.
Yeah.
And you have really good ideas, and especially women need more women. Think about it. There's no real strong woman leader in the entrepreneurial space.
Yeah.
You could be that person. Lauren Everett Bostic, she started Skinny Confidential just off of a blog for San Diego State, helping people know what to eat, right?
Yeah.
She has millions of followers because there's such a shortage of strong women, and she's a strong woman leader, but how many women want to get in sports?
A lot.
Okay, think about how much you could teach people of what you've learned already. Right? It could just grow.
Oh, I really appreciate it.
Of course. It's just a start.
Yeah.
So, stay healthy.
Yeah.
No more dancing exercise or Uber accidents for us. Exactly.
I can't believe we all got into an Uber car wreck.
Okay, this is how sick I am. This is the business side of me. I talk about productivity, accessibility. In the Uber, nighttime, going to Colorado Springs Training Center. Uber merges 60 miles an hour, smashes off the road, 3-foot ditch. We cruise up, get off the road. I look at Justin, I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. I asked the driver, are you okay? Justin says, are you okay? He says, fine. I get back on my phone, I order another Uber. It's there in 10 minutes.
So that's what I had to do too when I was in my accident, because we couldn't move.
Oh,
so
no.
I said, do you care if I'm late for a meeting, do you care if I get in another Uber? He's like, yeah, sure, I gotta wait.
I'm like, here's my cell phone, I'll be a witness for you. Yeah.
It's the thing
awesome.
that everybody hopes will never happen, and it's happened to both of us.
I know, and I couldn't believe my wife, before I left, they were talking about, do we need more personal insurance on you? I'm like, right? She was asking, and she's like, I'm thinking about upping the insurance now. I'm like, no, you'll be fine.
A woman's intuition, she just knew.
Exactly, she knew. I know. I'm like, I do not want to be worth more dead than alive. Do you know Lindsay McCormick?
Hi.
Nice 30 seconds.
Yeah. Shoot me 1 second.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry you missed last night.
Yeah, it's okay. This is my 25-year friend, and
I'll let the introduction. Great familiar, by the way.
Let me tell you.
And you knew with the face.
Oh, you did? All right,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Because I said, oh, that's Dave. Because I don't know if you remember, I reached out to you
Yes.
like 6 months ago, Final Four. I was like desperate, or it was the All-Star game. And I just wanted to say hello.
Let me give you my card too.
Yeah, I want
Your card. I ran out.
Gotcha.
And you're in San Diego too?
No, I'm in New York.
Oh, better.
Open Doors, Blake Lawrence.
Yeah.
He's a client of mine and Juan.
Yeah.
What's your contact? He works with
I'm
me.
Bradley. I was working with
Let me
him.
give you my
Nice
card.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So
Whatever.
Steve's here. I get to say hi. Juan's back in New York.
Oh, tell him I said hi.
No, yeah, I wanted to just say hello, and I'm a big fan.
Oh.
The podcast always have been for a long time.
You're awesome.
So ever since my favorite player is Marcellus Wiley.
Oh,
so ever since
he's
he's
the
on,
greatest.
Love that one.
yeah, I love him. So ever since then, I was like,
I love
who's this guy?
Marcellus.
And so I started
Like I went to
following him.
Columbia so
thank you.
people would know I was smart. I love that.
Really good one.
Yeah.
And also I get paid for what I do off the field. All the
Yeah.
people bother me, that's what I get paid for.
Yeah.
I like to play for free.
Yeah, I like him.
I remember that.
I like him, and I would love to
Keep in touch. Do you have my card
I
here?
do. Once you, because we have another client, I think you would like.
Please let me know. Anyone you want, let me know.
I was wondering if I could take a quick picture of you.
Yeah, of
Yeah, we
course.
take
I know we're chatting at Big Empire.
Yeah.
And I really admire
I was bummed. Did you go last to build your empire?
No.
I missed it too.
You know what? I was home too. I had a horrible ear infection. I text Casey. He was like, still trying to make it come by, but
Yeah.
I'm at the house all the time. I'm training Casey how to box.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, you can be a young entrepreneur, but you can't have anyone kick your ass.
Yeah, that's for sure. Or you can be an old entrepreneur and not have anyone kick your ass either. You can teach me to box.
Yeah, we'll make a two for one special.
That's awesome.
But no, I really appreciate you not only as an entrepreneur success, but like how you put the spirituality.
Thank you.
You know, the spirituality part of it, because that's the most underrated
I agree.
aspect of it. I tell people
Yeah,
all the
the
time, like,
emotional aspect.
oh, how's everything coming in your life? Like in fruit. I'm like, I meditate every day for a year. Once I started doing that, everything's been taken,
I have more people
Flowing.
reaching out to me about that side of it. Anybody can teach you the skills
Yeah.
of what to do.
Sure.
But to have the inspiration every day,
Yeah.
that's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I appreciate about you, because you're always adding that in too. And I'm like, yes, someone's finally doing it, because we don't need more entrepreneurs to it's like, go
Standing in front of a Mercedes and a mansion behind you, I don't need that either.
No,
Right? I want someone to light a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have this new model, right? I want to be a way maker, a miracle worker. I want to be a promise keeper and a light to darkness.
I love
If I can do those four things,
Yes.
I don't care what kind of car I drive.
Yeah. No, it's so it's such a surface level of living life, which is like, for me, it's like, it's so boring. They're missing the whole concept of like, there's so
the
much
pursuit.
more. Yeah, the pursuit.
The enjoyment of the pursuit.
Which
Well,
is
let's do a
crazy.
picture.
Yeah, let's do it. But I really
Good to see you, man.
Jeremy Kelly. I've been reaching out to you.
Yes.
I know you get 1,000 million.
No, that's okay. I recognize. Good to see you.
I try to call you. I know we
Please.
exchanged info.
Do you have my cell phone?
I do. Well, you
Good.
sent it over to me.
Good. From the.
So, yeah, man. How are you?
Very good.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
Good
thank
to
you
see
so much
Glad to
for
connect.
following
What are
me.
the odds of that happening, right?
It's the Super Bowl. You never know what happens.
You mic'd up. You got to give me a heads up,
Oh,
right?
it's on Instagram, man.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all
That's
good.
good.
Pleasure, man. Yeah, we're
Thank
just
you.
out here, just a couple of the former players. And
Oh, very
catching up
cool.
A little bit.
Good, good,
This is every year experience for you?
Yeah, 20 years, I think, or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, it was my first. I'm glad I just got out of Buffalo. It was a big blizzard.
Oh,
man, I was on the plane. I was like, let me just get up
Got
out
in
of
it.
here quickly.
Yeah, and the weather turned here nice, so.
Beautiful.
I'm going to be in New York February 11th through 13th in Manhattan.
Yeah?
If you want to get together.
February 11th through the 13th. Where am I February 11th through the 13th? I could be in New York.
Well, let me know.
Hey, let's
I
be
love
in
it.
touch, man.
Thank you.
Let's be in
Good to
touch.
see you.
You around all week?
Yeah, all week. Thank you. Good to see you again.
So, if you want.
Awesome. Let's get a photo with him.
All right,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you.
Keep
Keep doing what I do.
We're composing some stuff, but there's so much connectivity. Like
Yeah.
I'm just
Let me
still
know.
getting it all together, presented to you.
I'm here to help you, man. Whatever.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
That's
but
awesome.
yeah, great,
Thank
man.
you.
I'll get with you.
All right,
I got a lot
thank
of
you.
people. I'll just kind of share your information.
You're the best.
Randomly.
It's going to work pretty well. Thank you for joining, Damien. Hello, everyone. From the floor here in Atlanta, Super Bowl 53, going live, answering questions, Q&A for a quick. How are you? You got a quick question for me? Hey, come on over here. Give me your question, my friend. Give me a hug. We got double.
How's it going?
We're going to double you up. What's going on? What's your question? 2 jobs. How do you balance everything? 2 jobs, family, everything.
It is very hard. It's all about the woman that you are married to or engaged to. If she is on board with everything, it makes everything that much smoother.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Marry the right person.
Got to have, 3 things in life. Let me just tell you, not only be productive, accessible, efficient, productive, but most of all, 3 things. 1 good woman or man, right? Your spouse or partner.
Exactly.
A good bed, because you spend a third of your life sleeping.
Very true.
And then 3, love what you do. You spend a third of your life working, sleeping, and that's the secret to life. My grandfather told me that. But look at your calendar as well with the lens of productivity and efficiency, and you'll get so much more done. Remember, 24 hours of activity, some you get paid for, some you don't. You got to have the right priority to do that.
Absolutely. Love what you do. That's why I love coaching.
That's why he loves coaching. Right. The man. Thanks for doing it. Good to see you.
All right.
That's awesome. Hey, that was awesome. We got a super, super surprise. How'd you like that? Philanthropy gets confused with profitability. My business partner, Warren Moon, and I, after we left Leigh's, we came up with a mission statement that was make a lot of money to help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. And at first people were like, why you put make a lot of money first? Well, I personally believe you can't give what you don't have. That's a double-edged sword for a lot of athletes though, because I don't think most people understand how many asks there are and how the perspective of our family, friends, and even what acquaintances that come out of the woodwork, they don't understand. You could say Josh was the highest paid cornerback in the league, but Josh, how old are you now? Yeah, 31. I'm 51. And as much as you signed for, right, I lost over $100 million when I was 34 years old. Right, I wish I could have every penny back from friends who came and said, my mom needs a down payment of the house, all those different things. How economically or financially responsible, right, do you feel you have to be in order to give back? And where is that line? I like guys to brand themselves, to use their brand to raise money, give what they can, have a percentage always to give back, a tithing. It's historically the way to give, and don't go over that tithing, but I really want to know financially where that pressure is and how you deal with it about everyone with their hand out towards you. Especially you, Josh, you got that big contract. Darius has no money, so we didn't have to answer that. Most people think every football player is rich. That guy had to drive here from Alabama. Young guys don't make money.
Well, for me, I think it's who you are. It's who you are, regardless of what you have. Even when I was, in church, maybe I got a $20 bill from my granddad or something one day. I always gave like $5 to $10 in church on offerings Sunday. So it was kind of a big deal to know just starting from head start that, giving is a purpose. I think I kind of got that from, him because he was such a giver. His heart was just so big. He gave it, he didn't have it. It was just, having that. And even getting up now, making it to the league my first year, our ring contract.
You'd be driving here.
It's crazy. We got one check, and I looked at it and I'm like, man, $7, that's pretty big. But roll down a couple more walkers. Start seeing them hundreds and stuff. I'm like, wow, okay, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong place. So
start learning about taxes too.
Oh my gosh, and the taxes. I'm gonna get started at that. You see 10 and they cut it in half. So this kind of that, but I think for me, when I first looked at it, starting my nonprofit organization, when I first got Leigh in 2012, when I really had a lot of financial problems still, was a thing for me looking at it like, okay, I'm going to do this because God told me, led me to that. And I didn't have the money. So still, I was supporting something that I didn't have. And I was like, had to take out loans. People don't understand and know that I took out loans against money that was coming for me to completely push this agenda of a nonprofit that I truly have for my hometown in Greenwood, South Carolina, who rose to be the #1 murder rate in the state of South Carolina. And I had to do something because they were looking up to us. I didn't have, but I moved it away.
Let me stop 1 second, Josh. How many people knew that story? That's the difficult thing about media. Right? No, I think, would you prefer to hear that story about Josh or that he's the highest paid cornerback? Like for me, I'm almost crying. I know his mama would say the highest paid quarterback, but everyone else wants to hear that story. But I think it's important because we have to share these stories. We have a responsibility as fans and community members. You know, for me, representing the Pro Football Hall of Fame and marketing those guys, they spend over 90% of their time for charity. Imagine your whole day is, and that's not counting how many people come up to you, right? And you have to give your time. You're sitting there with your family. I asked Marcellus Wiley one time, I said, man, is it worth it? Right, is it worth it with everyone? Like everywhere we go, man, you just get hounded. He said, Dave, I played football for free and I took my paycheck and always told myself I was paid for this. For the people to come up to me and take my picture and sign the autographs. That's what I was paid for. I wasn't paid to play. But Josh, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's extraordinary because giving is an unconscious habit, right? And it's the best thing you can do. Not only to give, but when someone gives, serotonin is released in their mind, it makes them happy. When someone receives, the same thing occurs. But the most important thing, and the reason these stories are so important, people that witness giving, verbally, visually, whatever it is, people who witness giving, serotonin is released in their mind, and it makes them happy. The easiest, cheapest way to make someone happy is to give. And it spreads like Darius, one person at a time. So I'm just blown away, man. Congratulations. That's one of the biggest feats. Someone that's willing to give what they don't have. That's awesome. I'll coach you on that, but you got a good coach over there. Receiving is just as important.
But I love you. And the thing is, when I did get the contract, to be very short, when I did get the contract, that just created another monster to be something much more. And that's what he was talking about, the checks. I just write it because they're a good cause, and I know it helps other people to be in places that normally they wouldn't be.
That's awesome. Let's give me a round of applause.
Thank you so much. I would love to partner with you in the future. This was
email me,
amazing.
call me.
I appreciate your time.
I'll see you in the next few days. It was an awesome event.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you, bro?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm Dave.
How are you, boss? Jeremy here.
Jeremy Hills. On
good
it.
to see you.
On his own thing as well.
Right on.
Hi, this is Justin.
On it. You work with Marcus?
Good. Yeah.
I was down there. I interviewed him for my podcast maybe like a month ago.
Okay.
So, the Playbook. I'm Dave Meltzer. So I think my next job, I'm going to come down and get on his.
And then you got to come get on ours.
Yeah. Hell yeah. This is my publicist, Bradley. So, Bradley. He works with Aubrey Marcus.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Excuse me. Hi. I think I need to be mic'd. Thank you.
Follow Gary VEE on all platforms.
Knows everything. Hey, Mike. I just want to say hi.
How you doing, man?
Good to see you in person,
brother. Yeah, man.
Thank you for following me.
I'm gonna make my way over there.
Right on.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
So you're moderating the fireside?
Yeah. A little introduction.
Derek was just telling me about it. He's like, I don't even know what the topic is. I'll roll with it. I'm like, you're good.
I let him see the notes.
Yeah. Hey, man, no, I respect your grind, man. I love your authenticity.
Thank you.
And I love how present you are with when you're having conversations with people and you're raw. You're raw in the way that you are. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
I recognize that.
I appreciate that.
So,
reach out anytime.
Yeah, man.
I love it. Where do you live now?
I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. He left.
Just a beer.
I'll see ya.
Yeah.
Ryan, this is Ryan.
Hi,
pleasure
Ryan.
to meet you.
Dave Meltzer.
He's told me great things about you.
Right, let me give one of my cards too as well.
So, what's been going on, man?
Busy. Super Bowl. It's like my 20th Super Bowl. It just never changes.
I'm going to Pebble Beach actually next week.
Try to play Cypress. Have you heard of Cypress Point?
I have not. Never been there before.
It's ridiculous. Right around. It's like 75 members.
I'm going down there to golf with him. Oh. My friend is friends with someone that
You'll laugh the whole time.
I heard he's a great guy.
Yeah. You will laugh. He's legitimately that funny.
I'm excited. I love how he just goes into like weddings or something and just hangs out.
Tell him
talking about that the other day.
He'll fuck with you the whole time.
So
that's awesome.
What do you focus on right now? Like, what is your main?
So I do a lot of business coaching. Okay. So like CJ is one of my star students. Yeah. I got him all coordinated and killed it this year now. But I do speaking, book writing. All of it's based off a lesson. So I capture this stuff. So I try to create a continuum that allows me to use my thoughts to help people, but then attract business. Right, so I have a business development, we do sponsorship and media, and because I've built this brand and I help people, it attracts business. But it's very, very efficient, very streamlined. I try to teach people to look at things differently, right? So I look at profit differently. Lots of people, they follow their passion, especially athletes, right? Because we're so passionate. You can do that in football. You can go passion, purpose, then profitability, but you were probably 5 years old when you started. Well, when you be 51, guys get lost because they don't realize you can't just say I love football and make a career of it. Not at 50. So I go, all right, what skills, knowledge, and inspiration do I have to make money? Now, how do I infuse purpose into that money-making machine? And then I keep on filling it. And I literally, you should see my room sometimes looks like Rain Man. I have yellow sticky notes. So I'm trying to figure out how everything's flowing. So if I start here, how's it going to lead to all this other stuff? And it keeps evolving, like even the DMs, right? If I say the right things, help the right people, I attract the questions that I want and the help that I need.
So I was the kid who was in Boy Scouts and became an Eagle Scout, but used my uniform when there was a garage sale and I'd sell hot dogs and candy. I'd buy them wholesale at Sam's Club. And you can't say no to a Boy Scout that's selling candy. I'm like, these Girl Scouts and their cookies, look, I can do this too. I'll do it with another product. But I was always, cutting grass and all this, raised by a single mother. Always having to figure out a way to make things work and make it work.
You want to make money for your mom?
Yeah, because I went to a private Catholic school and it was, $12,000 a year. Wow. She took out 2 mortgages on the house to pay it. They almost weren't going to give me my diploma to go to college.
Because you didn't pay.
And I'm like, I got a full ride to Michigan to go play football. I need this for my acceptance to college. So they gave it to me and we were on a payment plan for my freshman year at Michigan, so just figure out a way. But now, when I was in the NFL, I was always thinking, how can I use my skills? Like, what am I really good at? When I found out I was really good at connecting people, finding someone who's really good at what they do, finding someone else that's really good at what they do, but they both have a need for each other.
Right.
Connecting those people.
I call that straight out buying and selling, right? So what do? We connect emotionally, but also a buyer and a seller is a match, right? Just like people, it's a match. And it's just, can you create a margin between the match? And I look for margins all the time.
All day.
When I went bankrupt, it was simple in my mind. I got to figure something I can buy low and sell higher than I bought it, right? I just needed margin because all that shit, I was buried in all this. In my yellow sticky notes, how I tell you it's all streamlined. When I re-engineer my life, when I lost everything, I had sticky notes, no connection.
Trying to figure it out.
There's no margins, no connection, a lot of passion and purpose, a lot of partying, not profitability. Now I'm laser focused. I have a direct trajectory to what I want. And if anything puts me off the trajectory, I go back mentally and then physically too.
Definitely. Stay on your center, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so right now I'm figuring out a way to build my business in a unique way because I want to do it differently than anyone else has ever done it.
My biggest thing about financial planners and consultants, if you can detach yourself from the outcome, especially out of a young guy, I call it the 10-year plan. If you're a closer like you are, you're a born sales guy, I can tell. The hardest part's going to be like everybody here is a sale for you 1 year, 2 year, 10 years from now. And you got to have the mental aspect of saying, I'm of service to these people. Because what happens is my financial planner right now, 3 years, never asked me for anything, just kept touching me. Just kept, talking to me. And then all of a sudden, I actually called him with a question about IULs. And he did research for me. He didn't know about him. At first, he thought it was an opportunity to sell me something else.
Yeah.
When he did research on it, he's like, hey, these are really good. It's become a multi-million dollar.
Huge.
Yeah, especially athletes, right?
I got one for myself.
My kids too. But
it's a great college savings plan instead of a 529. A lot more flexibility.
Tax benefits, you know. And that's the easy part. The hard part is building a relationship.
Exactly.
So eventually, I'm calling you, going, hey, Mike, I got a question about this. And that led to the opportunity, right? Because I trust him because he never tried to sell me anything.
Exactly.
That's why I won't sell a book to anybody. I won't sell a book. Call me. Because I know if you read my book, there'll be something I can help you with and you can help me with. You'll get aligned with how the principles work, the key elements work, or even Jack Canfield's workbook that I have now. That's an easy way.
You attract it to yourself because people listen to what you're saying, they know you're genuine, they love what you're saying, they want more of it. And that's how I want to run my business too. I just I educate people on things, and they're like, you know, Mike seems like he's really competent in what he's talking about. I want to further that conversation with them. And they come to me about it because I'm not here to sell people. I'm just here, I'm passionate about what I do, and conversations evolve from that, right?
That's what sells. You know, there's 4 things I found. Joel Osteen gave me this piece of advice, or a compliment, blessing. Said, be a way maker, right? Make your way. 2, be a miracle worker. Be of service to people. 3, be a promise keeper. That one really hit me. Like,
do what you say you're going to do.
Exactly. Do what you're going to say. And if you're wrong, just tell them, hey, I know I said this is what the truth is. And then bring lightness to dark. Right? Be positive, man. From a place of authenticity, abundance, right? And know that your frequency may not be right for everybody, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's 1,000 people here to see Gary, right? I'd lie and say you're here to see me, but we know they're here to see Gary. Out of those 1,000, if just one person over 10 touches loves you, bam.
There it is.
The other 999 could hate you. They won't. But, you know, there's some people who are like, you know what, I think he's full of shit, or I don't trust him, or I got a guy that I love, right? Who cares? Because as long as you're authentic.
I love it when people have guys. It's like you're supposed to have a guy.
I got more than one guy, and I'm always looking to see who can help me as well. Exactly.
I tell athletes, I'm like, you get a second opinion on your body, you need to get a second opinion on your finances. It's that important, so.
That's awesome. I'm here to help you, man. Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Hey guys, can I get everyone's attention again? Appreciate everyone coming out and supporting. Great energy in here. So now, as we talked about, kind of our main inflection point of the day, kind of bringing you home. Really proud to bring up a big friend of mine, Dave Meltzer, Forbes #1 speaker this past year. Unbelievable humanitarian. Someone I'm very blessed to consider a mentor of mine. On the show, on Elevator Pitch on Entrepreneur, one of the best dudes I know, former CEO of Leigh Steinberg's agency, my guy, Dave Meltzer.
Whoa. All right, we've got quite a lineup. I'll figure out where I am. All right, I expect nothing less from Gary. Standing room only, and these guests are extraordinary, so hopefully learn something. This first person, nicknamed the Ball Hawk, Ed Reed, drafted in 2002 by the Ravens as a first-round draft pick, recently inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, was part of the 2001 championship team at the University of Miami. Hey, the U. Recognized as one of the greatest safeties of all time, and I agree with that. Don't hit me. Reed was selected to 9 Pro Bowls and won the 2004 Defensive Player of the Year, Ed Reed. What's up, my brother? All right. One of my favorites. Since he was drafted in 2010, Derek Morgan has had a consistent defensive presence. A versatile player, Morgan's reputation has been for his grit and non-stop motoring. These skills have translated off the field as he has pursued his MBA and furthered his entrepreneurial interests. He is one hell of a guy. Derek Morgan. There he is. See, Ed, this is the generational difference.
They told me it was laid back.
Ed, it is laid back. What was your first contract? How much did they pay you?
Oh man, about it was said 40, but you know taxes and all that.
Yeah. Every player's not rich, right?
No.
Keeping rich is the secret. Next, everybody's favorite, the premier pass rusher and All-American out of college. Nkemdiche was considered one of the best defensive tackles among anyone in the draft. He was the first draft pick of the Arizona Cardinals in 2016. Rob has a band, as you have seen, called Formal Addiction with his brother and a few friends you've met. He plays the saxophone. Here we go. Welcome. I have no idea what Justin was trying to tell me, but now, the reason you're here, I guarantee it, because there is not a line of 1,000 people waiting for anyone else. One of my mentors, I think an incredible entrepreneur, philanthropist, businessman. Gary Vaynerchuk, as you know, is the CEO of VaynerMedia and Vayner Sports. Gary and his brother AJ were pioneers in the internet, grabbing onto the idea and building an e-commerce business for their father, as well as head of the curve of all time. He's still ahead of the curve. I'm trying to keep up. A 5-time New York Times best-selling author, a prolific angel investor and genius. Gary was an early believer in companies that were kind of small, like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Venmo, and of course Uber. My mentor, your mentor, the incredible Gary V.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome.
What up, boys?
You know, it's easy to tell when an athlete like us aren't good enough, right?
Yeah.
But I get it all the time with entrepreneurs. What do you consider the criteria to say you're a real entrepreneur? What's that criteria?
I don't get to say you're a real, you know, one person's point of view of real entrepreneur, and I have it very clear in my mind. You always did it long before it was cool. Like I want to know the 22-year-old who was slinging blow pops, right, and mowing lawns and flipping Pokemon cards. Like, people are on now. Entrepreneurship is like athletes and rappers now. Like, I could walk through Atlanta and get love now because I'm an entrepreneur. That wasn't the case 15 years ago, which means everybody wants to come in. And so, you know, my criteria is you can't breathe if you're not doing it. But everybody's got different criteria. I can tell you there's a very big difference between being an entrepreneur and being a successful entrepreneur, right? And so I think what's important to me right now, the number one fear I have in the macro, in this conversation, is that there's a lot of people flexing on social like they're winning. They're gonna lose. They've been telling everybody they've been winning, and now they gotta go get a job at fucking Waffle House, and they're not ready to deal with that scarlet letter, and I'm concerned how they're gonna deal with that. And so there's a lot of underlying depression and even worse that's about to mount because people are faking it until they make it. Most aren't gonna make it. Unlike people that faked it till they made it in 1984, they were embarrassed amongst 4 or 5 people. Everybody here is gonna be embarrassed to everybody. You like that, huh?
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because people aren't talking about this. And I'm talking about it because there's a lot of pain that comes on the other side of that kind of framework. So I'm talking about it now, hopefully allowing people to be self-aware. This is why I'm talking about shit like sell your home and downsize. And go back, move in with your mom, like real shit. Like, how about saving some money? Like, I haven't heard the last time somebody say save money.
Cash up.
So I think we have to, especially because we've had 9.5 years. By the way, if you're not successful during this economy, you fucking suck. I'm being serious.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Under 30-year-olds are confused. You've only had a very fluffy, fake environment. The reason he just high-fived me is we've been through some shit. So, you know, what I'm concerned about is people don't understand. They don't understand to make money, not raise money. They don't understand to save. People are gonna get exposed, and I'm not saying that like I'm cool and I'm gonna be still winning. I'm saying that like check yourself, like be thoughtful, like understand history.
Yeah.
I think Gary's cool. I don't know.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, he's real cool. I think. What?
I was telling Gary, I was about to steal Gary's hat. So you know, Gary's.
That's an entrepreneur.
No, I'm telling you, because Gary's had like such an influence on me. I want to make sure I'm able to sell whatever I can sell. You know what I mean? You know, whether we whether it be, you know me, whatever it is you like to wear, your favorite thing, just don't sell your body,
Rob,
but
go get 13 sacks next year, and I'll sell everything you ever fucking do.
Yes, I will.
Winning wins.
No, I'm telling you, yes.
One of the things that I've learned, Gary, too, is assumptions. I lost over $100 million, so I know what it's like to be an entrepreneur, and that was the first time I learned the lesson about, when the guy shining my shoes was giving me stock tips, I should have been selling my stock, right? It's real simple. Second time around, start looking at assumptions, right? It's not the decisions you make, it's the assumptions that you're making to make those decisions. And you got to make sure they're clear, so ask for help. That's why these videos that I watch still today, I'm picking up those assumptions that I thought I had. Ed, talking backwards now. Ed, every athlete, professional athlete especially, dies twice. And I know you just felt this, right? Every professional athlete dies twice. And that second, that first death, no matter if you're successful or not, guys have plenty of money. I've seen it. They go into depression. They can't take the emotional side because you have done something consistently. And this is what Gary's talking about. When the hard times hit and you've done something consistently since you've been 5, and then you have to stop because you're bankrupt. What are you doing now to transition from something you did every day of your life? Now you have to transition into a new life. What are you doing to make that transition?
I mean, I prepared myself for after football. When I left the University of Miami, first my goal was to graduate first before anything, and I did that. And it was preparing myself for after football.
Right on. So you made many transitions and pivots in your career. When we met, you were starting a sports agency.
Yep.
And I had a sports agency, and it didn't make me happy, so I pivoted myself.
Yep.
And figured out how I could do things differently. How did Vayner Sports come to fruition?
It's funny, I saw the picture on the flight down here. I wore a Walter Powell jersey to a Jets game, and a picture was taken. Mook Williams saw it, there's Mook, saw it, DM'd me. He's like, the fuck are you doing with a Walter Powell jersey? We went back and forth, and then like 4, 5, 6 months later, he DM'd me when I was in Miami on business, and I called him, and he goes, hey, there might be an opportunity for you to invest in our agency. Are you interested? And I said, yes. Mainly because I know what my long-term ambitions are, and it wasn't about short-term ROI. I didn't really, wanted to get a sense, could we afford it, knowing that AJ would be involved. AJ was still working at VaynerMedia at that point. Several months later, AJ walks in, he's like, I want to make a transition in my career. I don't want to do the VaynerMedia thing anymore. After a little bit of thinking, he's like, I want to get into the sports thing. When AJ was a kid, he wanted to be a sports agent, very kind of like classic thing that a lot of kids wanted to be that couldn't play, right? And so we just went at it, and it was just kind of a whole lot of serendipity, just a whole lot of serendipity, but really not really, right? Like when you actually know what you're up to and you know what your ambition is, like I've always known, what's up, Walt? I have always known that like I want to try to buy the New York Jets, and I really think I'm going to, and when I do, I want to be disproportionately the best owner towards the players, the same way I feel like I'm a great boss for VaynerMedia, because that's the asset. And so I'm excited. I'm excited that I'm going to have 20, 30 years of sports representation under my belt for that moment when I take the next step. And by the way, you collect people along the way, right? People become advisors, right? Kyle might be my GM one day when he's older. So you go through this journey, and so I'm super excited about it. I think it'll make a hell of a lot of sense when it's all wrapped up in a bow. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. I think that the message for me is we give meaning to everything we see, and I hope that you guys see this and give it the right meaning for you so you can be yourself, make yourself what you want to be. So give everything the right meaning. You give meaning to everything you see. So let's hear it for Ed, Derek, Rob, and the incredible Gary Vee. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Robbie, slide in. Okay? What's up?
Yeah. I have a certain standard. I have a certain standard now.
How do you guys? Stay right here.
1, 2, and 3.
Great time. Can I jump over the... Do you want to get him? Yeah, one more. Let's go. One more for Justin.
Yeah. All right. Want to get in the middle, Justin? Yeah. I'll switch with you. Yeah. You only get these so often. You only get those so often, Justin.
All right. Here we go. Have it, bro. 1, 2, and 3. Eyes here.
I work for Ed.
Yeah, awesome. Let me give him my card.
Please. Thank you for that. That was great.
Yeah, Warren and I have a marketing company. We work for Vayner.
You did the sprint.
Yeah.
The elevator pitch.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's great that it's being distributed in Insta Stories format or the IGTV.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you for moderating. That was great.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I want to get him on my entrepreneur podcast.
Love it.
Good.
The vibrations and the vibes.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Love it. You do.
Thank you, sir.
Huge inspiration for me.
You really like. Yeah, man. I don't want to get emotional.
For somebody who comes from nothing, now I really believe I can take care of my mom at a young age. And it's really, it just motivates me every day. I just want to thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Just know I know I'm going to do well now because I trust the process. Yeah, thank you, bro. I really am. So thank you so much.
You need anything, just DM me or call me. Any help, I'll be there for you.
I
get that.
it. Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you. Here's a book. I don't know if you've ever read my book. Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir.
So I came here. I just got from Georgia Tech. I got my master's in May.
Oh, cool. Congratulations. Yeah, go ahead.
No problem. So I'm really just out here sort of like trying to connect with the sports tech.
Yeah.
Right?
It's my specialty.
Exactly.
You know Ryan McNeil?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's a good friend. He's in charge of sports tech for the Super Bowl committee. He's here in Atlanta.
Yeah. So we, early on for my master's, my master's is what's turned into a company. Long story short, I got a warm intro to him a couple months back. So I do know Mr. McNeil, yes.
Yeah. I want to find him before I go.
Maybe I just want to give you my cards here. Talk about being super lean. I print those myself. So
yeah, cool.
Thank you very much. So I just want to know maybe if there's a way that I can connect with you at some point. I know it's super.
Yeah, just reach out to me.
Okay, I definitely will.
All right.
My name is Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to talking to you.
I don't know what it looks like.
One more time. Sure, no problem.
Could you send this for my son?
Of course.
That'd be amazing.
What's his name?
His name's Logan.
Logan.
Curious, you talk about surrounding yourself with your teachers.
Yeah.
Who are the teachers that give you the biggest aha moments, and who are the teachers that you seek out?
So for me, Napoleon Hill was the original. I studied Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, I studied it, and then I don't know if you guys ever have heard of Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I study Wayne Dyer still. I study the Course in Miracles. It's a very deep text. And then like I market the Pro Football Hall of Fame, so I pick out my favorite Hall of Famers because I want to. It's one thing to be a great athlete, but to be a great athlete and to be a Hall of Famer, you have to have like a Rudy heart and soul, and be born with a ton of talent. You know, you have to have this weird combination. So I try to learn that spirit of excellence. So like I represented the Clemente family. I wanted to understand the energy of the Clemente family, how, you know, sacrifice and tremendous skill. Like I look for those types of things that sit in the situation I want to be in, like greatness. Whether you're a philanthropist, a scientist, like John Brankus is a friend of mine. I'm really interested in the science of sports, things like that. So I look and I keep shifting more mentors as I can. And funny, I just ask for help. Like even Steve Wynn, first time I ever met him, I was like, man, can I ask you a favor? Can you mentor me? He looked at me, he's like, what is that? I'm like, just give me your cell phone. I just want to call you. I'll be really polite. It's just for a quick question. I want to understand your relationship to money. Like, I just lost $100 million. I don't have a good relationship with money. I just want to be able to call you when certain situations come up. Would you do that for me? And he said, yeah. Gave me a cell phone. I've only done it twice, but think of the value, right? I was like, here's the situation real quickly, and he gave me genius advice.
That's amazing.
Exactly like Napoleon, right? Because I'm actually reading the Law of Success. You know, and that's
and like my whole life has come like full circle. I watched The Secret years and years ago. Now I work like Jack Canfield and I just wrote a book together. I'm on the Transformational Leadership Council. I'm in the movie in the second book, Think and Grow Rich.
Wow.
So you can, if you can see it.
Are you in Atlanta?
We come here about 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay, I'm based here, so I mean, you know.
Reach out though.
Thanks for digging so deep into that well, and then sharing all that you're bringing up with all of us, man. Like you're really sharing so much that.
Well, I
appreciate
that's why it makes, like people say how I'm inspired. It's because when I inspire people or give to people, it's like, I get choked up thinking about it. Like, why was I given the opportunity? Like, it's such an opportunity to help people. And it's not just, for me, if I could help one person to teach them how to help, like I keep things, I really try, I'm not sure if I work, but I try to keep it simple. Like little things, short clips, because if I can keep it simple, then someone can make it easy. Hey man, you give meaning to everything you see, or show me your friends, or show me your future, be kind to your future self, or just because someone loves you doesn't mean they give you good advice. All these little things, right? You can pass that on. If I sit there and talk about quantum physics, right, you're going to sit there and be confused yourself, but you won't be able to empower anyone else. And say, hey, take a deep breath, like the 6 breaths of Buddha, right? How do you calm? I take 6 breaths, man. Get on the right trajectory. I talk about trajectory a lot. You know, I really have learned, okay, my ego's in the way, I'm gonna go back to center. Then I'm gonna react.
Clear, calm, connect, is that what it was?
Yeah.
I love how, you deliver it, bro, so you can share it with other
Show
people.
me your friends, I will show
So
you.
what advice would you have as far, because you just said that you used to talk to your mentor about the relationship with money?
Yes.
And I have a credit consultant business with athletes, and a lot of times I find that it's hard having that credit conversation when they're making so much cash. So what advice would you give to me to kind of connect with them and let them understand?
This is for your son. So I always say, connect emotionally first. And let me teach you real quick how to connect emotionally. First way to connect emotionally is find something in common with someone. So I could say to you, I love your earrings. We're gonna make a nice connection. Then I can start talking to you about what we're doing, the reasons that we're doing it, and I ask you, what do you do today? Where are you from? I start gathering information by asking questions. Then I say, what do you like about that? So if you, like, where are you from?
From Washington, D.C.
From D.C. You like living there? What don't you like about it?
The warm, cold, it's the cold.
Cold. Yeah, I don't like the cold either. When we start talking about what we like and what we don't like, it's an emotional connection.
So it's easier.
Yeah, and then I start saying, you know, I'm in this, you know, it's easy to say, what do you do? Then you tell me, and then you're automatically going to say, what do I do? Now we start learning. Now I say, what are the reasons you do that? Have you ever thought about this? All questions. And then at the end, I always go through reasons, impacts, and capabilities. And at the end, because it's a conversation, a questioning conversation, I then close by saying, from what you told me, here's the reasons that this would help you, here's the impact it's going to have on your business, and here's the capabilities you're looking for. Can you see any reason you won't want to move forward? It's his idea. The close rate is exceptionally high. If you text me, I'll give you, I have a diagram I made that helps train that.
Okay.
All right?
Definitely love to your card, and I'll give you one of mine as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Hi. Thank you. Oh my God.
Would you mind taking a picture?
Yeah, sure. You want to come up here? Or you want me to come down?
Yeah, so I'm going to email this. I'm going to take the picture we just took. I'm going to send it to you. So.
Thank you. I'll remember.
Cool.
5 minutes.
I got you. You want me to?
I come either way. I come on the stairs here. Oh, there you go.
I'm going to take like 3, okay? Ready? 1. Second one. There we go.
You're a kind soul, man.
Oh, vice versa. Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate it.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're spreading a good message, and
thank you.
You vibrate very, very high, man.
I work at it. I'm old.
Dude,
but according to Gary, man, I got 20 more years before I can be successful.
But it's so surreal that like you're right. You have no idea the journey that I had to get here, and it's just like
there's a reason.
I know. I'm ready.
Yeah, good. I would say everything comes at the right way at the perfect time.
Yeah,
you're ready.
I'm manifesting a lot. It's really cool. Thank you so much, man.
Dude,
it's a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Much love, brother.
Thank you so much. Want a book?
Are you?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
No way.
It's only good if somebody reads it. Ain't gonna do me good in a backpack. Hi.
I said thanks. I used to listen to you when you were on the Mentee with Jeff Woods.
Really? So he was my first coaching client.
Really?
And he came to me and he said, I want to do a podcast called The Mentor with me. And I said, just the same conversation here. It's not about me. I go, more people are interested, not about how I mentor. If they want me to mentor them, they can pay me or ask me. They're interested in what it's like to be a mentee. And that's how that whole thing started.
That value you give there is Ryan, B-R-Y-N. It's some of the best stuff I've ever heard in a podcast.
Thank you so much.
that mindset in here?
Yeah.
Same stuff.
A lot of good stuff. Same, just a little bit more detailed and organized. Let me know how I can be of service.
You gave me your card, right?
I believe so. I can give you another. They're free.
Good afternoon. We want to thank you for coming out today.
Brian, nice to meet you. I got to take off.
Yeah,
you got my card?
There is another event in this space.
Thank you.
So if you would please wrap up the conversation and start heading that way. Make sure you grab your swag bag on the way out.
I only discovered you a few weeks ago off of the Empire show, but I really love what I've gone through, all your stuff so far, and I can't wait to read the book.
Please keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Sure.
Oh
yeah, LinkedIn. I live on LinkedIn. Yeah, and all
right, thank you so much. You over the game?
This is Walter, one of their clients.
Oh, hey, Walter.
Nice to meet you.
I got one more story.
Entrepreneur just launched his app, phone up. He wants to sit sometimes. He's going to meet us in New York. Just want to wish you guys.
I'll be there on February.
Have on the 12th. Yeah, so we're going to coordinate that.
Brother from another good to see you, man. That was the first time you were taller than me. It was up on
anyone. Except for Gary, I think I might be taller.
And by the way, thank you for my autographed book, too.
Oh, you're welcome. Let me know how I can help, man. Thank you.
Don't hit me. I'm trying to get a camera.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you, guys. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Hey, buddy. You call me. You need anything, okay?
I really will.
I feel you. I feel you.
That was awesome.
Where's the car?
I don't know.
Great job, man.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. D, let's keep in touch.
Hey, man, good job.
Great job, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thanks for having me. So Super Bowl's a interesting thing for me. It's like my 20th here. So most people's, it's their first time. It's like the Masters for me. But you got to come down and meet me at it. But it gets harder and harder because I started on Tuesday and it's, I'm on Pacific time. It's basically 7 a.m. until 2 a.m. Talks, meetings. It's real business for me. But then all these people come in, and like today, more people are coming in from all over the country to see me, and they're all excited. It's their first day. They want to go to all the parties. Anyway.
You've been in town since Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday night. We came in Tuesday night. Luckily, it didn't take too long, so there's a big tailwind. So anyway, you guys have any questions for me? Can't learn anything unless you have questions. Yeah, please.
I'm 19. I just graduated high school last year. I decided to forego college just based on advice Gary gave me. I met him on my birthday on August. And I'm just currently running, we use artificial intelligence to do our marketing. So I was just wondering, what would you say is the best way to scale a business as a 19-year-old?
Sure.
Especially, a lot of people think, I'm hating on you at a point because you're so young, I don't think you can do it.
Look,
we don't even listen to opinions or anything, but
yeah, no, it's okay. I listen to opinions. I'm different than some people. I just don't take all advice to me, whether opinions or advice, it's like a handful full of sand to me. So I think you're foolish if you're not aware of what people think. But what I do is I let I appreciate even trolls, and I appreciate people that don't like me, because they care enough not to like me. That's good by me. Howard Stern made millions of dollars by people who hate him, which is fine with me. But for advice, I let the advice I don't agree with fall through my hand. Then when I get a nugget, a really good piece of advice, I hold on to it. And so, one of the things that I think gets misinterpreted from what Gary teaches, you don't got to go to college. I'm highly educated, overeducated. But I don't think you need to be educated in college. You need to be educated though. And we're blessed today. I started in legal research. We have access to so much information and to consume it from the experts. I joke around, A students teach the world, the B and C students run it. I want to learn from the B and C students, the ones that are running it. The Matt Higgins of the world, that got a GED, but he's the executive vice president of Ross Ventures, And today I was with, a good friend who's the COO of the Atlanta Hawks. He went to Columbia, then he got an MBA from Stanford. Those are they work together. But the thing they have in common, and I'm right in the middle, but the thing we all have in common, more interested than interesting. Right? Wherever you're going to get your knowledge, you should always be expanding your skill set consistently every day. Your knowledge, you should be just, especially at 19, if you're not asking, I love the fact you're the first one to ask the question. If you're not sucking in, hey, how did you do this? What do you think of this? Because it's beyond the decisions you make, it's the assumptions that you're making to make those decisions that's so important. And how can you learn what to assume unless you're seeking that knowledge in order to scale the business? So take the advice that you like, that feels right to you. Scale a business, there's 3 ways to scale a business. Number 1, before you take the 3 steps, detach yourself from the outcome. Building a business is an evolution, not a revolution. Staying in business is the key to business. As long as you're in business tomorrow, you got your lottery ticket. It may take you 8 months to be a $1 billion company. It may take you 80 years. Whether it's 8 months or 80 years, you're a fucking genius. You're a genius when you're a billionaire. Who cares how long it took? It's enjoying that journey. So here's the 3 steps. 1, there's an investment phase. The investment phase is understanding that I'm not going to make any money. That means I might be sleeping on a couch. It might be I might borrow money. It might be I might raise money. But I'm going to make that investment in myself. And then I'm going to start having to invest in other people as I scale. So even today, after 10 years, Warren Moon, our business together, I still break down a new employee to scale my business, a new location to scale my business, a new business unit to scale my business. What's the investment that's needed? How much money, time, resources is it going to take until one thing happens? Break even. Right? Scaling is not even about profit, right? If I could have 1 million employees and break even on them, eventually I'll make a lot of money, right? Then I start monetizing, how do I make $5 off of each of my employees? Now I'm what's called the execution phase. So that's why for me, one of the investment stages of scaling my business is my personal brand. That's my investment. I don't care how much it costs, because I know whether it's when I'm 60, 70, or 80, if I ever want to monetize my following, and it's 1 million people, all I have to do is figure out the profitability tied to my purpose and passion, $5 a person every year. I have a nice annuity, right? That's just 1 million. I know I'll be way over 1 billion, right? But I don't need to monetize it. So my thing is, I'm gonna scale my business by investing in what? Giving my books away for free, shipping them, paying for shipping. I make the investment in my following so they learn something. So if the day ever comes that says, hey, following, I wrote a new book and I need you this time, do you guys mind buying it? I'm gonna donate part of it to charity, and I'm gonna sliver off $5 for me. And the way that I am, I'll let my audience know that. Hey, this is what I'm making. If you think it's fair, then invest in me back. That's the execution, the second phase, execution of scaling a business. I always have a goal in executing a business that first I make the investment to break even to try to make 3 times what my investment was. Then when I make 3 times what my investment is, it's called the equity phase. That equity phase is that annuity, the thriving. You go from stimulating interest, transitioning interest, share a vision, managing and develop a vision by putting more into others and giving value. But then it thrives, right? People, you give away my book. This is true. I gave away about 20,000 books in 2018. I built an audience, right? I empowered all these people. But I had 5 times as many books sold than I ever have. I've never asked one person. You can go back at every video you ever see of me, every blog I've ever written, every TV show. Never once you say, hey, I'll buy my book on Amazon. It's on there. I never would say that. I don't even tell people, I'll give you a free book if you pay for shipping. But I'm in an execution phase. Where I want to become is that thriving phase, the equity phase. When you're scaling a business with employees, so I take Colleen over there, who's worked for me for years, came from the Jets, I invested in her. Then she became into the execution phase of my business, where then she exceeded making me 3 times what I pay her. Now she's an equity owner, right? She runs my brand, right? She's the president of Dave Meltzer Enterprises, separate from Sports One Marketing, right? That's scaling of a business, and she knows the core values: gratitude, empathy, accountability, effective communication. She's hiring people. She's teaching them, right? Which to me is awesome, right? I sit back and go, wow, I didn't have to say anything. I didn't have to do anything, except for what? I made years of investment. I have 15 interns every quarter. I have 30 interns in the summer. That's a big investment. My door is wide open. You guys are my investment, right? You take the time to do this so that you can scale. Very simply, that's how you scale a business. But the key, like I said, detach from your outcome. The minute you create resistance in your life by saying, oh, I gotta be $1 million business by the end of next year, you're dead in the water. Set goals and milestones, but use words like, I wanna make over $1 million as soon as I can. I wanna double the amount of money I make as fast as I can. I say that to myself all the time. Right? I have all these mantras that I do in my mind that I'm saying all the time. I'm catching myself. But after all these years, making millions and millions, losing it all, making millions and millions, I still say one thing to this day. My goal tomorrow, when I woke up, may God put 10 people in front of me that I can help and have a guarantee that I'm in business tomorrow. Once I answer those questions, now I move on with my day. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, and then just to follow up on that, I'm starting to get employees into my business as well, and I'm really big on how Gary has employees, and he's a really good leader, but not in a way where he's like an asshole, I would say. But how do you lead and also be a friendly boss in that environment as well? Because what I've noticed is with the employees that I've had is if I'm too lenient on them, they don't put in the work that I would like them to do. And I know they're not supposed to put in as much work as me because I'm the owner. You can't expect them to do that, and I already understand
Can't
that.
tell people what to do.
They're not even doing just the basic stuff I need them to do, and I feel like I'm being too lenient, but I also don't want to come off as
Gary fires fast. Gary fires fast. I fire fast. So I set your expectation. Hey man, I'll give you the opportunity. It's yours to earn. You got to live by gratitude. You have 90-day training on 4 things. No skills, nothing other than values. You have a 90-day training when you come to work with me, and I'm gonna make that investment in you. If you can't learn my values, gratitude, right? Empathy, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication. And I mean effective communication in 2 realms. 1, you need to be inspired in here every day. And 2, you need to inspire other people. Once I do that, what do I have to do? Only one thing. I gotta show them, not tell them. Right? I gotta be first in. I love bosses. You gotta be first in and last to leave. And then they're going for hour lunches, they're playing golf, taking Wednesdays off, right? Go ask any of my employees. Keep up with me. That's what I try to say. Keep up with me. That's all. All I'm asking is keep up with me. On the hard work and the fun, keep up with me. And guess what? The other thing I have the biggest problem with my employees? Asking, right? Asking. I wish every one of my employees came up to me and said, can I come to the Super Bowl with you? I've never said no. Only time I ever said no if they wait till the last minute and just becomes physically impossible, And I'm also teaching them a lesson. How many months? Speak up. Speak up. Anyone that knows me, you're working for me. I have 2 things. Number 1, how can you be of service and add value to others? My business is based on adding value. And 2, ask for help. Dave, do you know anyone that can help me? I have, people who don't even work for me, used to work for me, calling me saying, hey, can I come in and be with you? But they asked, and they asked with enough time to make it realistic.
There he is.
Chris.
How are you, man? Come here, get in here.
My favorite jacket, they won't let me wear it because it sucks up color.
No, here's the whole thing. Like I told him, I said, Bonnie doesn't let me check luggage, so I've got to make a jacket work. I've got this, and you know the drill.
I love it.
We got a private dinner tonight, so slacks have to come on, the dress shoes.
I love it. I'm the same way. I wore 3 outfits yesterday, all layered.
What's up, man?
Hey.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. You're my only friend I can call at 5 in the morning and know you're awake. Hi, I'm David Meltzer. Pleasure to meet you.
Williams' fiance.
Oh, hi. Hey, Rashawn. Dave Meltzer. Pleasure to meet you. Yeah, good to see you. Thank you. Pleasure
How
to
did your
meet you.
meetup go?
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank you
good.
very much. Thank you very much.
You did a wonderful job interviewing him.
Oh, I got to do it again.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yeah, you did a good job.
So, I want you to meet Rashawn.
Okay, and I need to give him his.
Where's the podcast? Oh, right here? Oh.
What's up, Dave?
Oh, there you are. Are you interviewing me?
I am, yeah.
You ready?
I'll try to do my best.
You know, I business coach CJ Anderson, so I'm leaning towards the Rams.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm an AFC guy, so if it's not the Chargers, how can I root for New England? I do like Tom Brady. Yeah. I love Belichick. I like Tom Brady. Yeah. I wish I could run my business as well as Belichick runs his team.
Yeah, it's the Patriot way.
Yeah, so that's extraordinary.
I'm gonna close this door.
All right.
Sorry for all the delay.
And then I turn off the heat, so it's less hot and also no AC sounds.
Cool.
Now you guys are ready?
Yep.
And
Don't forget to clap.
Yeah.
And
good.
Going.
All right, we're back with another episode of the Players Impact Podcast, Super Bowl edition. Our guest today is CEO of Sports One Marketing, Dave Meltzer. Dave, thanks for coming.
Oh my gosh, what a pleasure. These are the highlights of the Super Bowl. I know most people come for the parties and the games. I come for the inspiration and the content.
Absolutely. You've been all over the place. Following you on Instagram, it's been crazy to see all the engagements that you've done. Gary Vee's meetup last night. Super cool to see. But we're excited to have you here today, so thank you for your time.
Of course.
So you business coach a lot of athletes. You know, Players Impact, we're all about facilitating opportunities for pro athletes on the education side, on the investing side. Talk about kind of the importance for these athletes to be involved with different ventures.
You know, it's interesting. I was blessed to be CEO of Leigh Steinberg Sports and Entertainment. So Leigh was my mentor. That's where I met my business partner, Warren Moon. And the biggest thing that Leigh taught me was to have impact with the athletes, because I utilize athletes to help people, including themselves. I think, you know, I have an obligation with the relationships I have and knowledge I have to help perpetuate the economic impact that an athlete can have and allow them to utilize the resources that they worked so hard for in the maximized way. And it's really important to do so. Hey, good to see you. Yes.
Good to see you, man. Braxton's flight's delayed, or else he was supposed to be here. You know, wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's
I
awesome.
saw that video with you guys. That was great.
And I was hoping to do a live with him if he comes. So hopefully he'll get here by the time. I'm with Marcus like last.
Intermediate side of things.
In New York, yeah.
In New York, yeah. So
I think I'm gonna come by next February 12th.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I work on. Have you heard of 4Ds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I work on that new business side of Sasha Group now. But yeah, just want to introduce myself. Thought you did a great job at that session yesterday
so
in the panel.
Do you have a card or a cell phone?
I don't.
Here, give me your cell phone.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if you remember, but Gary was talking about Walter Powell yesterday for a hot second. So have you met Walter yet?
I have not.
So I told Walter to come to this event.
Things going
really well.
I've been waiting to meet you, but I feel like this is destined.
Yes,
I really do.
Everything's destined for me. So
see, I must explain it. I met a lady in the summer, and I was supposed to come out to Atlanta. I didn't, but she helped me really open spiritually and start accepting things for like now. And she talks to me a lot about perspective and how we're creators and everything.
Oh my God,
I'm gonna get to this point because it's
Take your time.
So yesterday I went to the Legend thing and I met Bradley. I was with Darren and everything like that. And I didn't feel like it was meant to be yet. You weren't there. So I did some more creeping. I read your bio and everything. You did all my studies, but I didn't go on your Instagram page.
Yeah.
So last night I went on your Instagram page and I actually took a picture of one thing you said. And it was this, nothing happens to you or for you, everything happens through you. And that's what she's helped me really kind of capture. So I came out here to Atlanta off instinct. I got a hotel. There was a guy I was with, I'm not really with him no more. He's kind of a sports agent, but he doesn't handle business how I am. He's really unorganized. And then I'm an aspiring agent, kind of trying to get into business, so he wanted to show me around. I met Darren at a bowling event, and we started talking, and next thing I know, he texted me. He's like, come to Legends. I'll come. Get there. Crazy journey, man. It's a crazy journey.
Do you have one of your cards? Or,
I don't have a card.
Follow me though, right? At David Meltzer. Yeah, follow me. So at David Meltzer. And now, where do you live?
I live in Kansas City right now. I work for Lathrop Gage, a law firm there.
Yeah, nice.
And I do docketing work for the professionals. All of our.
So it's at David Meltzer.
You should be all here, so you go right there. So nice to meet you, man.
DM
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get more time to talk. Darren's here too.
Oh, he's here?
Yeah.
I didn't know where he was, but I'll text him. He's not hard to find for me.
That's awesome.
Nice to meet you.
Small world.
I'll DM you or something.
Please, thank you.
Talk later.
Good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm great, man.
Good. Thanks for reaching out.
Oh,
I appreciate it. Let's hook back up after tax season here. I said let's hook up after tax season.
Yeah.
Nice Super Bowl.
Well, no, I know. Yeah, it's a rough spot.
It's funny. Right after I saw you, I saw Hodges. Did I tell you that?
Did you really?
Yeah. He says hi.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the board for the Olympic Committee for USA shooting. So I was in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So I met Hodges when I was up there.
Yeah. Hodges is a great man. Cut that jaw. Oh yeah.
Well, you remind me of him too.
Yeah. Well, we played we were the same position.
Yeah.
I had a business. I ran out of my living room. We were making $10 million. So we were through something similar to what you went through. It's just very inspiring to see how you kicked it back up and got it all running.
You can do it, man.
No,
you have my number?
I don't.
Do you follow me at all, or?
I don't, but I need to.
Yeah. Let me give you. Oh, where am I? I'm at David, California. I'm in New York a lot though. Connect to people. Everything I want will come, and I can just make it as big or as small as I want. I truly believe, I give meaning to what I see, and I create any size or judgment is in my head. Like if I say I want to be a billionaire, I say to myself, why can't I be 100 billionaire like Bezos? Right? Why can't I do I'm limiting myself. Or people always say, should I do this or this? And my immediate answer is both. Like, what are you thinking? Why not do both?
What's stopping you?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like you can bubble it back to if Trump president, anybody, you can do whatever they
Exactly.
Like literally.
Yeah. That guy has an unconscious competency that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he attracts shit. Those people always puzzle me. The guys that at least aren't aligned with me, that think, say, and do what appears to be the wrong things, or even believe, but they get everything in their lives.
And people like that. Like some people I know, too, like that just automatically attracts money.
Yeah.
No matter what they do.
That's me. It doesn't mean I can keep it, but I can keep it. I keep attracting it.
Right.
So that's when I decided, okay, I'm born with a gift of attracting money. Then all I gotta do is save my money. Like instead of trying to make money, like just put it away where it's guaranteed and double it over here. I don't have to worry about doubling it over here, right? And I had that confused. It was like, make it here, double it in the savings. And then I ended up spending time on shit I didn't know and losing my money. Wow. Right? Because I made assumptions about things I don't understand. Yeah. I never asked for help. We're over here, I got this energy. I'm like, I'm just going to focus doubling, put away. You're like, wow. Yeah. Because my time's better spent, my activity's better spent on what I'm good at.
You my soul, brother. Like for real, like and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Because
we gotta hook up.
I don't connect with a lot of people.
Can I get your cell phone? Thank you so much.
So what is that like to be you?
To be a father?
To be a what?
What am I?
You're not my father.
No, I didn't.
We're pretty close. We're pretty close.
What's it like to be a?
Just to be you. I mean, you do 60-second videos and you impact so many people wherever you go. They hear you and they put the two together because you do so many of those videos.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of the quality is just so trash. But I still
I know it's organic.
I still watch it.
Good. Oh, it's organic.
I still watch them.
You can't edit everything professionally. It's really interesting because I think the universe evolves for you. So I was always I ran Leigh Steinberg, a famous sports agency. Yeah. So I was always on this side with Steve Young or Troy Aikman, where I'm watching how people would come up to them like they know them, and they would say, "Oh my God, I love you," or "You changed my life," or so I've witnessed that. I almost compare myself to Joel Osteen, who I love, right? Because Joel for 17 years was producing his dad's show,
right?
And then he had to step on stage, and I think he's even better than his dad. And so all of a sudden, I'm experiencing that side of it, and my business partner is Warren Moon, the quarterback, the Hall of Fame quarterback. So he said to me at the Rose Bowl, because he had to leave the Rose Bowl because so many people were bothering him. And he goes, wow, I'm jealous for the first time of you. I'm like, why? He goes, because you're perfectly famous now. I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, 2 or 3 people will come up and ask you for a picture and an autograph, but a lot of people, you change their lives, and you still make money.
Yeah.
right?
That's the best part.
Yeah.
I think you described MLS players to a T.
Yeah. A few people, right?
Yeah, a few people are going to recognize you.
Yeah. I just pride myself on making more money than MLS players.
It's not the hardest thing to do.
I know. For now.
But reinventing, that's what I'm stuck on that. Reinventing yourself after losing it all.
It's a frequency, right? So I just re-engineered some things about myself. I think the easiest thing.
That's where I am right now.
Take stock in who I was. Like, I was a multimillionaire for a reason before I lost everything. So when my wife told me, take stock in who you are and what you want to become, it became obvious what my frequency was. You know, and I shifted it to helping people, to living a different purpose.
It fills you up.
And I still had the same skills and knowledge. I just knew more people and had better certificates. I was a millionaire 9 months out of law school. I didn't know anyone. I had law loans. I didn't own anything. I didn't come from a big school and a rich family. And somehow, I learned to make $1 million 9 months out of law school. So why, when I lost everything, would it be any different? I knew everyone. I've been a good person. I made a terrible assumption in finance, and it cost me. But in my head, everyone else was worried. I'm like, making the money wasn't going to be my problem. Saving it seems to be my problem.
Right.
So I had to study how to maintain my wealth, which, right?
And that's the key. I want to be able to help people, because I wish somebody had told me when I was young, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you wish you had.
I wish someone told me, Dave, you're really good at making money. All I want you to do is focus on making twice as much money as fast as you can, and then hand it off into guaranteed. Don't take big risks, because what happened was I owned a ski mountain, a golf course, stocks. All of a sudden, everyone was saying you got to make your money work for you. Mm. That's not what really happens. What happened to me, because I didn't have someone like you, what happened to me was I was working for my money. Mm-hmm. And I was risking it all, because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Instead of working for me over here, I'm really good at this. I've always been good at this. So when I'm focusing on working for me, then I'm working on saving and maintaining and growing my money at a realistic pace.
Right.
Not my money working for me, or even worse, me working for my money. That was stupid.
Right.
It cost me over $100 million, stupid. So I'm talking real money, right?
Right.
But now today, I have no doubt, I'll never, I tell him, Justin, my cameraman, I'll never be poor. So I know how to make money, and I know how to save it.
Yeah, you know how to make money, but a lot of people know how to make money.
Yeah.
They don't know how to maintain it.
Yeah, a lot.
It's a tough balance.
And they don't know how to make, and timing-wise, right? Some people, life goes like this. When you're in the flow, you've got to especially save it and maintain it.
Right.
Because no matter how good you are, you're not always in the flow.
Right. It's gonna.
Right. I just find having a bunch of, and money's an energy. The more you have, the more it attracts more of it.
Exactly.
So that's where you can help so many people.
You can never escape from that. And I see, a lot of athletes. I mean, especially there. I mean, you feel like you're untouchable, right?
Yeah, of course.
When you're young, you don't even want to think about retiring. You just assume you're going to play forever. You assume you're going to sign a $20 million contract.
Yeah.
And you assume that's going to last. I mean, you can make $20 million, but
It doesn't.
I mean, $100
after
million
taxes,
can go,
three teenage daughters, taxes, 33 homes, a golf course, a ski mountain, $3 million in stocks, loans,
couple
Ferrari Porsche.
A few too many risks, and then
Here's the simplest. I believe it's not the decisions you make, it's the assumptions to make those decisions. I made one bad assumption. I assumed that the banks would always let me borrow a secured loan. Mm-hmm. That if I had an asset in equity, I could always borrow against it. Well, what happened is the banks were going under. They'd rather have my asset instead of let me borrow. All of a sudden, I'm going through my money like I got plenty in the bank. And that's not in the bank because you have equity. Because they're worried about the equity. And I ended up, the whole thing imploding. I didn't lose, I lost everything I owned. I had plenty of equity, they just took it from me, right? My bankruptcy was pretty clean. I didn't have like huge credit card debts and, you know what I mean? It wasn't like that side. I made a bad assumption. And that's why you need experts around you to say, okay, this is why you should make, this is the assumptions you make. I can help you. Let's go talk to the expert real estate guy.
Right. That's a great story too, because to you it felt like you were pretty secure.
And I never lost money. I was Midas.
Right.
So in my mind, like you as a player, I'm going to get a $20 million contract, play forever. In my mind, I'm going to keep on making money.
Exactly.
I'm smart.
So it doesn't matter if
all these other,
a lot
you
now,
all are stupid. You all were stupid. I was smart. Yeah. radical humility is a great lesson.
Yeah.
And now I live with great humility.
For turning that into probably the best lesson you've ever learned.
Yeah.
And
Best,
turning that
best
into
thing of my
helping
life.
people and changing lives.
Best thing I've ever learned. And the coolest thing is, to me, I'm proving to myself that I can make money by being good and honest and abundant. And I have just as much energy and skill with a different philosophy.
Right.
And giving away a certain portion. I don't give all my money away. I'm not people think like, because I just have more money. Like I've built 2 community centers, helped raise in Africa. I live in a nice house. I drive a Chevy Volt, right? That's a nice car.
It's a great
But
car.
I have money, so I don't care. I know my girls won't drive it.
I drive a Prius. So.
Yo, I love a Prius. The car at the time, it had electric. I got to work and back with no gas. I want to prove a point to my daughters. And also it's a punishment tool. So if my daughters are bad, I have teenage daughters.
Yeah.
You give
I'm
them
like,
the keys.
exactly. You gotta drive the Volt.
Can you tell me a little bit about how your relationship with Gary Vee formed?
That's one of the biggest blessings of my life. They asked me if I could help them with a little advice on what to do with the sports agency. And the smartest thing I ever did was ask them for help. And I said, hey, Gary, I think I have pretty good content. Can you help me? Because I think I can really do something and help people.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Wheels Up Super Saturday Tailgate. We got a perfect day here in Atlanta. Anybody pulling for the Patriots? Any Rams? Yeah! Make sure you check out the Bose Sound Garden. Bose is giving out the new air frames, the new frame. Make sure you check out Rayo's, the meatballs outside. True Fusion, Diageo, BMW, our incredible partners. I only drink Don Julio 1942, and you can meet me at the truck. Super Bowl, baby! Welcome, everybody. On behalf of Wheels Up, all of our staff, my partners, we want to thank our members, our investors, our friends, our guests, Atlanta. Let's hear it for Atlanta and all the people that are working here for us.
In the fourth quarter, it's a close game. What would be likely to determine the game? What will decide the game?
Tom Brady. I mean, it's Tom Brady. There's a reason he's the greatest of all time. It's because he's been able to do it year in and year out. So while I don't like it, I respect the hell out of it.
The best of the best competing. And I am DMC, the K-I-N-G, the greatest rapper in history. And there will never be an MC that is better than me.
About this company that part of the main reason that I appreciate my association with them is who they are and the kind of people that they attract. There's really nothing else like Wheels Up, and that's why I'll make a plan to see you next year in Miami. One of the greatest in the game, J.J. Watt.
Give it up for Wheels Up, guys. I think we did it again. Best event of the weekend, Wheels Up touchdowns.